There you go. How's that for the first shot in the video? Garbage and rubbish and recycling. So, I kind of had a suspicion that everybody was going to hate on this guitar. Because, well, look at it. Come on. Come on. Alright, I know everybody hates this thing, but for those of you who hate this thing, you're sort of missing the point. The point of this guitar is a few things. First of all, I wanted to do exactly this to my first guitar when I was a kid. When I was like probably less than 16, when I was probably 13, I had a guitar that had metal horns and I wanted to cut them off and I wanted to do this to it. But my parents wouldn't let me do it. And I wanted to do all kinds of crazy stuff to my guitar, but my parents wouldn't let me modify my guitar when I was a kid, so I just gave up the idea of it. And so, when you get a guitar like this, yes, it was pretty nice looking with the horns for people who like that sort of stuff. If I had, if that was my speed, I would have left it that way. Because it did look good that way. It just, once I put that stripe on it, it looked good like that. And I will concede that. But it's just not my style. And because I'm committed to keeping this guitar, I wanted to do a couple things. First of all, I wanted to relive my youth doing this to a guitar. Second of all, I wanted to make it unsaleable. Okay? Nobody's gonna buy this. No one, if you put this up for sale, would buy this. You probably couldn't give it away. And that's more of the point of what I'm doing. I'm making this so that I'm not tempted to sell it. Because every time I look at it, and I look at how I've modified it, and I now like the way it looks. I personally like this. I think it's very punk rock, and very... And yesterday I was just cutting a little pickguard that I'm going to glue onto it. This is just made out of that vinyl stuff that looks like leather. So it needs a bit of trimming so that it's nice and straight here. But yeah, I'm just going to glue that down, right down, and that's going to be my pickguard. So once I get that sort of trimmed out, that's how I'm going to leave it right there. Just about like that. And I think that's going to look bitchin'. That's going to be my guitar. That's going to be my little punk red rocket. So when you look around at how I've done it, like, there's also, this stuff also actually for me suits a bit of a purpose. This actually, believe it or not, makes it much easier to sit down and play with. Having that little tiny little bevel cut on the back end, and then I just sort of like the look of it, so I threw it on the front end. But that on the back end, that for me serves a purpose. That actually makes the guitar comfortable to sit down and play. Because before, it was just rolling off my knee. It would just roll off my knee. But now when I actually put it on my knee and play it, it'll stay there. It won't move around, because before you put it on your knee and it just, the lacquer just makes it so it wouldn't stay on my knee, but now it stays there perfectly. And for those of you wondering about the balance of this guitar, I mean really, who cares? It's a $60 guitar. He paid 60 bucks for it. You don't get guitars that cheap, like, that play this well. This is a well-playing guitar. I didn't This still plays as well as it did when I got it. And I did it on purpose with the strings on and all the electronics, and every little modification I did with the guitar completely together. Because that's how a 13-year-old kid would do it. A 13 or 14 or 15-year-old kid would do it just like that. He wouldn't take it apart. He would just think, oh, I'm going to cut these horns off, okay? Yeah, there we go. Oh, I'm going to put something in the thing. I'm just going to leave the guitar. Do you really think a 13-year-old kid or 15-year-old kid or 16-year-old kid's going to take that all apart to do that? No way. That was the point of that. This, for me, was just fun. It's a $60 guitar. I definitely want to keep it. I'm not looking to destroy this guitar, but I'll tell you, it was fun like hell to modify this without any reservation. without worrying about how it's gonna turn out and, oh, is this little bit perfect or that little bit perfect? No, just have at it. And I might still modify some more of it. I was thinking I might take a little bit out of this side here. Just kind of even things out. Who knows? But it's a nice solid chunk of mahogany, both the neck and the body. I took all that crusty black lacquer off here. I still got a bit of dust there. I was taking a bit more off yesterday, but yeah, I took all this nasty shit off here. Now the neck actually feels good to play. So despite what all of you think and how all of you hate the way this thing looks, I actually like it, and that's kind of the point. And this has all been lacquered, so it's not going to chip away. It's just going to stay looking this way. But I did it like quick and dirty, like a young kid would do. And look at this thing. That's crazy, eh? That's a hubcap. I put 2 of those on my daughter's bike. She's into X-Men and boy stuff, my youngest. Anyway, yeah, so it looks home done. That was the point of this thing. The point of this was to modify it without taking it apart, without doing anything and without being worried about it. And I tell you what, from my perspective, it was just so liberating to be able to do this without worrying about how it was going to turn out, right? Because my intention was never to f*** it up. But I do like it. I do like it now. It's my little... It's not the most aesthetically pleasing thing, but it's mine. And I did whatever the F I want with it. And I might bedazzle it a little bit too. I was thinking about ways that I could bedazzle this thing. So it's not done. It's definitely not done. It's gonna get some stickers and a few more little bits and bobs. And I'm thinking of one idea that I really want to do. And I'm gonna try it, I'm certain I'm gonna try it on this guitar. And I think it's gonna be awesome. But yeah, still plays totally fine. I mean, I love it. I think that's great. It's really punk rock. The headstock's definitely getting some paint or something like that. Next time I pull the strings, I'll just take those tuners out and do something to that. But yeah, it's like, what would you get in a pawn shop, or how would some kid, like some punk rock kid, modify his guitar? And this is what I wanted to do to my one when I was 13.